I'm creating a tarot voice that's decolonial and anti-racist and queer and accessible to all these different communities. To do a deck like this was about being an Indigenous tarot reader and having to reinterpret the cards from the Eurocentric understandings of tarot and fitting them into realities that made sense for myself, for my community, and that's who I was reading for. So I'm reframing it in ways that I feel are more appropriate. Sometimes it's just simple things like renaming the high priestess to the healer, because our traditions didn't have priestesses or emperors or empresses, and our understanding and lived realities of those roles and titles has been really harmful. But I wanted to maintain the positive aspects of those cards, so I renamed them and able to describe those positive aspects in ways that are fitting and appropriate for our community. Just the power of saying that devil actually is the church that told you, there was a devil, and strangling the ideas that have hurt us. Putting all the Indigenous people with traditional long hair was part of that. But with the jeans and the t-shirts and the hair, the Two of Cups and the Lovers card and the Four of Arrows, which all tend to depict romantic relationships, they could be anybody. They're who the reader and the querent needs these cards to be. And other ways that I was able to just make slight changes to the deck to reclaim a marginalized narrative through the deck. The Eight of Swords is typically letting us know that the only person that's holding us back is ourselves. And that's not necessarily true for marginalized folks. So my Eight of Weapons, we are actually trapped and restrained, and they have caught you, but you still have the tools to attempt to get out of this. And then for the Three of Swords, or Three of Weapons, I named where those weapons come from. And so I depicted French, Spanish, and British American swords through the heart in this card to name where are those pains coming from? What are those pains? And yes, those swords are still in there. And, also adding encouragement to not let our hearts fall to the ground. And so that also is where we come with the Six of Arrows. This is 1492 Landback Lane, in a moment when they took victory after a really hard day. And so we frame the victory of the Six of Arrows into something accessible, something we all know and watched, and something so many of us can understand, that even when you have a day full of losses, you can still take victory at the end of that day. We have a recyclable tuck box, and in the box is 101 tarot cards. So there is your classic 78 card tarot deck, as well as 23 oracle cards which shadow the major arcana. What shadows the high priestess or the healer is privilege, and we definitely see this in the classic designation of a high priestess. The Lovers is righteous rage. Some shadows are beautiful when we are no longer afraid of them. And then also is the Landback Tarot Guidebook, which is a full-sized guidebook. It's in color. The cards have images that go with it. There are 5 spreads in the guidebook, 4 in the beginning and 1 with the major arcana. I see an increasing number of tarot decks that are anti-colonial or decolonial or anti-racist, that are made by people self-representing their own communities like I am, and I'm following in that vein.